There's an organization in California called Next10 and NEXT10.org. They did a 2008 study looking at environmental laws in California, primarily related to energy. So when people begin to debate whether or not government laws has impacted positively or negatively, their study indicated that despite 35 years of regulation on energy and emissions in California, the economy continued to thrive and grow. The green manufacturing jobs were growing while conventional manufacturing jobs were still in decline. From 1995 to 2008, there was a 19% growth in manufacturing employment in the core green economy jobs, while there was a 9% drop in total manufacturing employment. I mentioned the Integrated Waste Management Board from California earlier, CalRecycle. One of the things that they've been doing over the years, they have a recycling market development zone program where they provide business loans and business development assistance for communities and businesses that want to begin manufacturing. They look at eligible applicants and businesses with manufacturing and processing facilities in California who produce recycled content materials and products, and they will provide program funds, 75% of the cost directly attributable to an eligible project, up to a maximum of $2 million, whichever is less. So again, this is the walk soft and carrying a big carrot, providing the incentives for the businesses to do the recycling and giving them a leg up when they're finding challenges in communities, trying to find property, trying to find the money to make their to build their structures. Other laws that have happened, AB 32 was from 1989, but since 1990 in California, there's been a mandate on all the cities and counties to divert from landfill 50% of their waste. That provided a huge incentive for recycling to start in California. There were curbside programs, but they were sparse. And now just about every community in California has a curbside recycling program. They're also expanding on that now, as that ties to AB 32, where they're developing a commercial recycling mandate. And based on the studies with that, that's going to create anywhere between 938 to 130 to 1,396 jobs associated with recycling. So these legislative and regulatory trends are significant factors influencing not only the recycling and resource management industry, but all public and private organizations. And this is not just in California. You could apply these kinds of projects, these laws, across the state and find that they're scalable and implementable elsewhere. The challenge now really is looking at the locals, and I say the local government, and businesses, because what I've found over the years is that often many of them are relatively unarmed and underprepared for developing the workforce to handle the materials and the jobs associated with it, and comply with the laws. So what's happening in California, and we're also working with a number of organizations across the country, is looking at how is it we respond to these jobs, and what are their needs? What are the needs of the businesses? The California Employment Development Department, EDD, created a number of studies and surveys. Their Labor Market Information Division in 2010 did a green jobs study, survey, and response from over 15,000 firms in California, 20 major industries represented. 35% of the respondents say waste minimization skills and knowledge was necessary for new employees to work on emerging green activities. So now the businesses are saying, we're not ready for this. We need a trained job force. Recycling and Resource Management Employer Survey, and this ties into some of the work that my organization, the California Resource Recovery Association, has been doing, in addition to our partners with the Industry Advisory Board and our Workforce Investment Board. The surveys that we've completed, 1/3 of our respondents anticipated implementing new recycling and resource management or sustainability initiatives in the next year. Nearly half of them said they expected to increase employment in the next 18 months, so the jobs are coming. Over 3/4 of them indicated the existing employees would benefit from a recycling and resource management certificate program. So who's actually creating these programs? Who's training the job force, aside from folks who are working their way up through the ranks and learning on the jobs? In 2008, California Resource Recovery Association implemented a small but highly successful resource management professional certification program. Now this is not one where you can earn college credits for it, but it is developing a workforce across the various aspects of the industry so that these folks can go into jobs in recycling right away. The Recycling Organization Council, the National Recycling Coalition, hello NRC, Recycling Organization for North America, RONA, and CRRA have been assessing the industry needs. And what we found is that national standards for industry resource professionals do not exist. Consensus is that a national standard would benefit the industry, assist employers, employee transition, advance careers, and transferability between states. In 2010, and we're really excited about this, the Santa Monica College, on behalf of the California Works Alliance Consortium, which includes Irvine, Valley College, and Golden West College, received a $4.87 million grant from the Department of Labor. And one of the things, or I should say, their specific program objectives now under this grant would be to provide skills and resources necessary to find jobs across all industry sectors related to recycling and resource management. Provide the background necessary to successfully implement recycling and resource management strategies. Provide opportunity to gain, is that the note that I'm going to That's all right, I'll get through. And provide opportunities to gain hands-on training through assignments, internships, and other experiential learning activities. And also, importantly now, support the growth of recycling and resource management across all sectors, providing a pool of highly qualified applicants. And we're working on two things separately, but they blend together rather neatly. Again, I mentioned CRRA certificate program, but also working now with the colleges on an AA degree in resource management. We're working with, again, CRRA. We've got universities of Pennsylvania, Hawaii, and Colorado, again, developing these standards. We've been working now for probably, I'd say, 6 to 8 months on polling and assessing what's going on across the country on developing national standards for these programs and certificates. Some of the things that are included in this would be recruitment and pre-training activities. CRRA and the colleges and the work source boards and the recyclingjobs.com that we're working on. It also includes training, credit and non-credit training for career ladder options. You've got some very large companies here that you're dealing with that would have jobs from entry-level, mid, and upper management, as well as organizational administration. So working on these certificate programs, we would be able to provide training to step into any of those positions. Non-credit training is through CRA's existing certification program. We're also creating some additional courses related to that. But the for-credit programming is being developed with our partners and committees to identify those national standards. Also key to this then is the placement. So you get the Workforce Investment Board and the one-stop systems, as well as recyclingjobs.com, which has been rated, here's the statistic, rated the #1 Google-ranked recycling job site on the internet as efforts to find and work on placement for the folks coming out of these programs. And then, of course, more importantly, retention. And the work source centers associated with the colleges are doing will do continuous follow-up with the graduate. So, in a nutshell, thank you, Frank. When you have all these jobs coming online, the growth of recycling and the importance in the United States, it's also important to recognize that you need to develop the workforce. And that's what we're working on in California. Thank you very much.